Good evening and happy marvelous Monday. We are back, people, for our recap time, and we are here to recap the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16, episode 5, about last night. Good evening, Auntie. How you doing?
How you doing? All is well. I'm happy to be here, and I'm excited to recap this episode of
Whew.
Yeah, we got stuff to talk about, but all is well. I had a beautiful weekend, and I hope everybody did too.
Yes, listen, spring is springing.
Yes.
We are here.
Oh, spring ain't springing in New Jersey.
Well, we're having our days. It's up and down.
Okay.
It's rainy, it's sunshiny, it's kind
Okay.
of all over the
So y'all
place
having
here.
the same. Okay, yeah, because it's raining for us here.
Yes,
It
but
was
it was a
raining and
great
gloomy all
Saturday.
day. I'm like, yo, what's up?
Listen,
They said April showers though, right? That's an old
they
saying.
do.
Shower Mayflowers.
Mayflowers, April showers bring Mayflowers. But listen, we are here and we are ready. Listen, people, about last night was really the best title for this episode because, oh my God, about last night. So much went down,
About
so
mm,
much happened, and we're here
mm.
to get into it. So make
Come on
sure
now.
you do us a favor. We are live on both channels. Are we freezing? Are we freezing up? Hold on, let me exit out of some stuff because I got a lot of stuff up. I'm
We
doing
got
the
a
wrong.
lot of stuff.
Listen,
Well,
I'm doing.
I got a new extender. If it's, I feel like I'm lagging when I talk and I'm looking at myself. I got a new extender in my house
Okay.
that's supposed to help with the internet.
Okay.
Um,
Well, we gonna keep going, people. Let us know if it gets too bad, and we'll see what we can do. But weather is freezing. Oh, okay. The weather. Okay. 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 Okay.
oh, okay.
But yes, listen, we are here to recap the Real Housewives of Atlanta, episode 5, about last night. We are live
Mm,
on both channels, Royaires World and Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. So if you're on Royaires World, make sure you go over to Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva, hit the like button and subscribe. And if you're over on Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva, come over to Royaires World, hit that like button and subscribe as well, and turn your notification bells on all. That way you see each and every time we post a video with you in mind. We
mm.
also have goals going on tonight, so feel free to give to our channels. Diva is, looking to host the up and coming meet and greet. So if you want to meet the Diva, honey, make sure you go over to her channel, give so that she can host that event for us all. And if you just want to support Royaires World, feel free to give. We appreciate each and every one of you. And then if you can do us one more favor, hit that share button. Now, Diva, my Real Housewives of Atlanta don't do as well on my channel as my Married to Medicine videos do. So I got to up the ante for the people. So if you can do me a favor and hit that share button, share with
Mhm.
one or two people that watch the Real Housewives of Atlanta and would like to watch this recap. We appreciate each and every one of you for joining us. Anything before we get into this?
No, we're gonna get right into it, honey.
Well, let's jump right into it. Thank y'all for joining us tonight. We appreciate each and every one of you. So, we are here to recap season 16, episode 5. And so last week, we, had a few issues with the group. Shamia and Angela were not getting along too well at the beginning of the episode. Shamia and Drew had a little fallout. Porsha and Drew, Kenya and Brit. There was just a lot going on last week. Well, Angela, at the end of the episode, she hosted her, party, an all-black event for Black Excellence. The ladies showed up, and things seemed to be going pretty well until the end of the dinner, okay? Brit had a question for Kenya, and Kenya was not very receptive to the question that Brit had for her. And so things kind of went left from there. Well, things went from why can't you talk to me nicely to I've been pistol whipped and, and just all kinds of stuff. Brit just went all the way out there on the ledge. She went over the ledge, okay? And so it was that. And so that brings us into this week. We meet at the beginning of this episode at Sterling Hall. I love Diva. We got to name our houses.
Child, there's no address. Her address is Sterling Hall. I ain't never, child. That's rich.
Rich. Okay.
That's rich. You don't have no address. There's no number. When you filling out stuff or you about to deliver, they be like, "What's the number?" No, just Sterling Hall.
Sterling Hall.
Okay.
Period. So
Yo,
we're meeting at.
let me just say this for you while you at it. That house is everything.
Beautiful.
Oh my God.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Housewives of Atlanta for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So, we're meeting at Sterling Hall. Shamia has invited Angela over as well as Brit. But Angela
Mm-hmm.
shows up first. She knocks on the door, and Shamia's so goofy. Not an old fashioned knock. I was I
He's
was
forever shading that girl.
so shady, just so
So
shady.
shady.
But she comes in, and so she's genuinely glad that Angela has come over. Last week Shamia brought an olive branch with some olive oil to the All Black Excellence event, and so Angela was very receptive to it. She apologized for saying the mean things that she said, and so they moved on. So Shamia was so glad that Angela showed up into her home, and that was really big for me, Diva, because a lot of the times these girls will do fake apologies and then they won't invite you to the next event, or you won't see each other until the end of the season. But Shamia was really able to put that petty to the side, invite Angela over, apologize, and so they're on a good note. So Angela was very glad to be there as well. Brit came on in. And so Brit, she was not feeling too well today. She came in with a face free of makeup, but she was beautiful to me. I thought she looked really, really good.
Gorgeous.
Like, a beautiful girl.
Yeah, gorgeous.
You could tell that she was stressed. She did not get a lot of sleep last night, as she told us, because she was embarrassed about what happened last night. Last night, as we said, Britt just kind of went over the edge with Kenya. Kenya really got under her skin, and some things were said that she definitely regrets. Not probably, but she definitely regrets. And she shares that in today's meeting at Shamia's home. Britt said that she did not sleep well. She hated that everybody seen her acting like a fool last night. She did not mean to disrespect Angela's dinner or anything like that. And she apologized to Angela. Angela said that she really didn't get a lot of sleep last night either, because she got a lot of the backlash of everything that happened from the owner of the restaurant. They wanted to know, do we need to bring more security? And who are these girls that you bringing up here acting a darn fool? So Angela said that she didn't get a lot of rest last night. Britt said that, anybody that thinks that she can harm someone or hurt anybody, that is not who she is at all. She, just felt backed into a corner, and some things were said that shouldn't have been said. So she was very apologetic, and she has taken accountability for the part that she has played in this situation. Shamia went on to ask Angela about the conversation, with her and Porsha yesterday. Porsha had alleged that she heard some things, in regards to her husband, Charles. And so, Angela said, listen, I'm not wasting my time on little petty stuff. I'm a real celebrity. So is my husband. We have people make up rumors about us all of the time. I did not bother Charles about any of this foolishness at all. So that was that first scene, if you want to talk about that real quickly.
Yeah, Shamia's house in that particular scene, I loved it. I love the fact that they seem to be doing grown adult stuff with, like you said, I apologize, and Angela accepted the apology, and she went ahead and came on over, right, to Shamia's house, right? And they had the conversation. Angela is grown. And when Brit came over, I felt bad for Brit, right? Because, see, a moment in time, Royaire, can change a whole lot of stuff. I think in the moment, she got caught up because, one, you know what? It's not just you having a conversation with somebody. It's you having a conversation with somebody and it's on TV. It's being recorded. Mm-hmm. So now this person punking you and dismissing you, and you're like, oh my God, like, what do I do? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do I say? Like, I got to get back at her. And she was really upset because Kenya was paying her dust. And you know how Kenya go, I am the queen. I'm this, I'm that, whatever. I am the moment. Oh, you trying to have a moment? I am the moment. So, and Kenya actually, her reads are recycled. They the same reads over and over and over again. But, Brit let it get to her. Yeah. And she realized that I do believe her when she says her intentions was never to try to make it seem like I was going to come and pow you down. Mm-hmm. I do believe her. And what I liked is she took ownership right away, Royaire. She said, I messed up. I want to apologize. I feel bad that she really felt like I was trying to do something to her. And in my mind, Kenya wanted it to be a moment. Kenya wanted to drag it out, because this girl realized right away, like, okay, I did go too far. I said too much and I want to apologize. I heard Brit say to several different people several different times that she wanted to apologize.
Yes.
Yeah. And yeah, Sasuke said, I don't understand why Brit wants to be friends with Kenya so badly. Very desperate in high school. It was, but I think that she knew that Kenya pretty much because Porsha was coming back. But yes, outside of Porsha, Kenya was the main cast member who was standing from before. So I think she felt that she got good in with Kenya, could be something. But she also mentioned something very important later on. She mentioned that when the camera's not on, Kenya was one way with her. And they said lights, camera, action. Kenya was another way with her. And I believe that.
Yeah,
I believe that. And in regards what Angela said about what Porsha said. That's right, Angela. She grown. She been there, done that with this.
yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I do believe that Angela was, that Britt was very sympathetic about what happened. I do think that she realized that she went too far, and she, as she was very sincere and apologetic in this scene, we'll see later on. I feel that she was the same as well, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Shout out to Shamia and Angela for being grown women, for real. Actually moving on from the situation, and keeping it cool, keeping it classy, and not trashy. Like, that's where we are, in my opinion, in this reality TV phase. Like, let's move on from the trashy mess and let's keep it classy and keep it cute. So Porsha, Kenya, and Kelly all meet up at Kenya's hair spa. So, Porsha seems to be in a really, really good space with Kenya. They give us a little flashback of how Kenya and Porsha used to go back and forth at it with one another, how, things used to be really rough with them, but they're in a good space. Kelly was invited to this, event as well. And so Kenya wanted them to know, hey, I got security now. So y'all good? Kelly said, I got my security too. I'm good, girl. And Porsha said, well, listen, I ain't got no security, but try me if you want to, and you're going to find out the hard way, okay? Kenya is hosting interviews for models, as Kenya is going to be doing a hair show at her hair spa. And we'll see that later on in the event. So they did go through the models and things like that. Kenya did say that she invited everyone to the party, including Brit. Brit was not disinvited, but she was definitely confused about everything that happened last night. Porsha was okay with the conversation at the table in regards to Brit questioning Kenya and Kenya's response. But what really threw Porsha back was the comment with the pistol whipping situation, okay? And it seems to be, Diva, that everybody is very unclear of exactly what was said that specific night in the conversation.
Yeah.
But that really seems to be a little bit of a toss-up, too, with everybody in the group, trying to really understand what was said in regards to the pistol situation. And so what I heard is that she has been pistol whipped before, and she's not afraid to bring her pistol, is what I heard. Now, that's what I thought I heard. I could be very wrong, but that's what I thought I heard. Kenya said that she was offended and disrespected. She felt it was unnecessary for Brit to even go as low as she did, and she doesn't even know her like that. Kelly said that is not the Brit that she knows, and that she thinks that Brit was, out of pocket, but she's going to apologize. She knows that, Brit feels bad about what happened, and so that Kenya should give her a chance. Kenya said, she's done. It was out of pocket, out of line, and since Brit feels like it's okay for her to come, she's going to send her running and bring her a background check, okay? She's going to run a background check on Brit, and we'll see what comes out of everything. Kenya said, this conversation is not over, and she is not to be played with. I'm gonna stop here because this next scene was very important. Anything on that?
Oh, very important. Woo, child, that next one, yes. So Kenya, Porsha, and Kelly, the scene, the scene was the scene. All I can say is wow. But I like the way Kelly wasn't kicking her friends back in. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because a lot of times they do turn on each other so easy. Kelly was really trying to set a stage for Kenya to say, listen, you need to talk to her. It wasn't what it was. Let's have a conversation, because she said that's not the Brittany I know.
Mm-hmm.
But Kenya didn't want to hear it. And Porsha wasn't helping either, so to speak, because Porsha was like, yeah, I didn't like that whole, thing with the pow, whatever the case may be. And so I got that. So it was a good scene, and her, and they came through. The ladies came through so they could help pick the ladies for her show. I'll say all of this because all of us may fall on one side of the fence or another side of the fence with this Brittany and Kenya thing, or some may fall in the middle. I will say this: I think Kenya, as a veteran, she should have known better.
Yes.
And we'll get to that when we get to it. But as a veteran, I think she just did too much. You can't let nobody knock you off your square. You a veteran. You've been there, done that. And when every new person comes through the door, they're going to go for the top dog. Kelly did it. Kelly went for Porsha. Oh, she took that man husband. She took that man husband. She came in the door saying that, and it wasn't even appropriate. It wasn't even no room for it. So, but Porsha knew how to handle it. Porsha truly paid her dust. Right? Porsha said some stuff to her, but she didn't get all crazy with it. But Kelly came for Porsha. Brittany came for Kenya. And Kenya fell in the trap and Porsha didn't. So, you know what? At the end of the day, I hate to say it, it's a shame on Kenya. Yeah. But go ahead. And then to say, oh, I'm not spending my money this way. You getting a whole private investigator and all that because this girl says she had a pow.
Girl. Meanwhile, you owe $400,000 plus on a building that you ain't even got open. Little English Rose says a mother's love is everything. Kenya will always be hurt. Hurt people.
Yeah.
You ain't never lied. Diva and Royaire, this is far from over. How will Kenya explain this mess to Brooklyn when she becomes a teenager? Lose job and no hair salon. It's a sad situation.
Lisa, not the lost the job. Ooh, Lisa, that hit hard. Not lose the job in the hair salon, but you are correct.
Yes.
You gotta, you know what? No, even if you're an entrepreneur, Royaire, or you work at a facility, like for somebody's job, corporation, whatever, you gotta have work emotional stability. Because people are going to push your button. Yes. And you can't go around slapping everybody, getting a private investigator and telling them all their business. You can't do that. But go ahead.
That is not the move. That is not the wave at all. Listen, people, we are live on both channels. Make sure you're hitting that share button for us. Let the people know that we are live and recapping the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And make sure you hit that like button as you're coming in. We truly appreciate each and every one of you. With this scene, I was really proud of Kelly and Porsha. Another friend group, or friend couple moving on from the drama that they had. As you know, they had a little rocky issue earlier this season, or at the beginning of this season, when, Kelly was questioning Porsha in regards to the husband stealing and all of this extra stuff. So really proud of that friendship. It was beautiful to see Kenya and Porsha also together. Porsha supporting Kenya in this hair salon and the model thing. I thought it was so funny how they kind of gave us a cut back to when Kenya first came on and she was over at Cynthia Bailey.
Oh, don't you like the flashbacks?
It was super cute.
Yes, it was. It was.
Excuse me, I'm talking.
Okay. Kenya's Kenya.
I said, get it together, Cynthia. Get it together.
Okay.
Yes. That was super, super cute. I totally agree with Kelly. I don't think that, Brit was intentional about really trying to harm Kenya or hurt Kenya or anything like that. I feel like a lot of the times, you know, even in real life, sometimes we just get in situations and we say things that we really don't mean. And yes, we do have to take accountability for it, but it happens. And I do feel, you know, as we've seen at the beginning, that Brit was willing to take accountability. And so we'll talk about that later on in the scene. You know, but Kenya, as grown as Kenya is, for Kenya to have a daughter who is between the ages of 7 and 10, you know, this is the time to be showing maturity. This is the time to be showing forgiveness. This is the time to be showing that you are a bigger person. And that's not what you're showing, you know, Brooklyn at this stage of her life, you know, and it's going to be a bad reflection on you. It's truly going to be a bad reflection, as we've seen in that comment. So good luck to Kenya with all of this mess going on, because this is a lot. And the people, Diva, you know, they are really here for, you know, save Kenya. Justice for Kenya. Bring Kenya back. I mean, this is a lot. This is a lot for me. But we'll continue on. So this next scene, Diva, when I tell you this episode was really, really good.
It was.
It was a really good episode.
It was.
I really enjoyed this conversation right here. And I'm going to need
before you go into this conversation,
uh-huh.
I feel like Angela got a whole lot going on in that family that's about to get cracked down.
Hit the fan. You hear me? Hit the fan. No, the family finna lay her out flat on her face. For real, for real.
Ooh, child.
So, child. It was a lot going on in this scene. So if I missed something, please help me. Or if I say something,
yes, I will. Because like you said right here, this was a scene.
This was a scene.
This is reality TV at its best.
This was so good. And I had said to someone earlier, this right here is why I watched The Real Housewives of Atlanta. That first, second, and third season really gave us moments like these. And going forward in some other situations. But this was really, really good. So Angela is, you know, having coffee, brunch, lunch, something with her daughter, okay? Angela sees herself as Amira's best friend. Okay, BFF. Amira's father passed away at the age of 7. Unfortunately, he was murdered. So, you know, that's what happened with that. And so, you know, I know it's been a long time, but condolences to the family. That is a very, very sad situation, you know, but that's what happened with him. You know, Angela talks about how her children are her everything. She loves them so much, and they really mean everything to her. And Amari seems to be opening a coffee shop, okay? So that was a little bit of their conversation and how the breakdown of their relationship. So apparently there was some issue with Grandma, Angela's mom. Now, let's reference this conversation with Angela's mom was diagnosed when Angela was around 7 or 8 with bipolar disorder, okay? So she does have a mental health disorder, okay? Now, apparently, you know, Angela has confessed to us that she brought her mother, her sister, a home. And so the daughter moved in with them. They were all 3 living together. She also bought them a car, okay? Well, bought her mom a car. Her mom a car, okay? These are Angela's words, okay? Well, Amari, I guess she felt the need that she had some errands to run, and so she took the car, okay? And so it was a situation.
Hold on, as you're talking, you can't just take the car, but go ahead. I had to watch this scene twice because I was like,
what did I tell you? I watched this episode 4 times today.
Not you took the car.
Girl, for the 3 of us, you took 1 car for the 3 of us, ma'am. This is a problem, okay? So, you know, she allegedly took the car, and so, well, she took the car, and it was issues because, you know, Angela's mom feels that she brought the car for me. This was a gift to me. She brought this house for me. You just don't come up in here and taking stuff. And so apparently the aunt jumped in it and jumped on her as well. And so Amari was like, listen, I'm done. I'm moving out. So she moved out. We didn't come to find out. Here we go 4 months later. Amari not only moved out, but she went and got married and didn't even tell her mama that she got married. And this is supposed to, y'all supposed to be
best friend. A BFF.
We're supposed to be BFFs. Then on top of that, they, have a little issue because Amari feels like, listen, this is my life. I can do what I want. You bought the car for them, so why should I have to ask them if I need to borrow the car? I should be able to come and go as I please. You need to cut them off, because I'm your child. It's me is what it's giving. It's the me show, okay? And Angela's like, listen, this is my mom. My grandmother's wish was for me to take care of my mom because she is bipolar. She needs help. And so I love you. And I am going to support you on this, but I can't cut my mama off. I will definitely talk to them about how they talk to you, what was said and all of that, but I can't cut my mother off. And I also am hurt because you went and got married without telling me. We're supposed to be close. We have a special relationship, and you did not tell me that you were getting married. What's that about? Amari instantly, flipped the script and said, well, when did this become the jump on Amari day? Everybody's getting on me. I feel like you need to stop, take my side and stop covering for them. And Angela, like I said, she said she's going to talk to them, but it really hurt her feelings. And I think the fact that, Amari took no accountability and not telling her mom that she got married, which is a major thing, it caused issues between the two of them. But Angela backed off. She apologized, and said, I understand you doing you, but I am going to talk to them. But let's get on up out of here, girl. Okay. And so that was the ending of that scene.
So I'm trying to figure out Amari. My son is telling me it's a little bit of a spoiled brat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she seems manipulative and spoiled. Come on now. That's what I caught too. I was like, something about this has got me shaking a little bit. Now listen, Nana, we know, and I'm not saying that the mother is as extreme as Kanye West, right? But we do know that this whole bipolar thing and mental health is real. Okay, it's real. And it's a lot.
Yeah.
And when you have to try to live your own life, plus take care of some family members, the mother passed in October.
Oh,
Well, my condolences.
yes.
That's sad. But I will say this. When you have to take care of your household in the family, like family members, it's hard, right? And so, but what I don't understand is if you bought, they saying yes, Angela's mom passed. Oh, after filming. Thank you, man. And man, you be knowing this stuff, boy. I will say this, that it's a lot, right? It's a lot to be taking care of two households. But what I will say, what I didn't understand is, why did Amari go live with Nana and Auntie? Why couldn't she stay with her mother if she needed someplace to live? That's the part I didn't understand. You bought the house. If you bought the house for Mama and Auntie, and what is Auntie doing that she can't? But maybe she was taking care of Mom. So I'm gonna lean up a little bit, especially condolences because Mom passed.
Yes.
But I don't understand why she went to live there in the first place. I didn't understand why it was an issue with a car, because if you could buy your mother a house in a car and your daughter needed a car, it's not making sense to me.
Yes.
Why didn't you even try to buy your daughter a little hoopty? You renovated 22 houses, but if your daughter need a car, maybe renovate 20 houses and get her a car, right? Yeah, that was, come on, Snoopy, wasn't adding up. And so, I had an issue with that. And then when she went into full-blown tears because the mom asked about the marriage, I don't know who gets married like that and don't tell their mother. And you've been married for 4 months. So if you got married like that, did your spouse have a car that you were dating before you got married to them?
Hello, lights and walls. You better talk.
So I don't know, something about this. They had that conversation. Yeah, there's holes in the story, in my opinion. I think that Angela wanted a scene So she called the daughter and said, let's have this scene. But I think there's been tension between her and the daughter for a minute. But when she got up on the TV, she called all the people because you need people to do scenes with. And that's why the scenes is a little awkward. Because even when she was just asking the daughter about the coffee, the daughter had a little tube. She was like, it is what it is. I drank this coffee, whatever, pretty much. And I was like, that's your BFF talking to you like that?
That's
I got a son. My sister, she has 2 daughters and a son. And her two daughters, they like thick as thieves. She would never talk to her mother like that. She'd be like, Mom, what's this kind of coffee, whatever. No, she was like, what does it matter? Like, whatever. That's your BFF? Something, although I like the scene, there was more going on there that they didn't tell us about. And if you're going to come up on the reality TV, we need the truth.
The whole truth and nothing but
the truth. We need the truth. But something was amiss in that scene. I said something is missing here because Amari got a little attitude. And again, like I said, I don't understand why she was staying with the mother and the auntie, her grandmother and the auntie, and not her own mother if she needed a place to stay.
I'm going to tell you why she wasn't staying with her mama. We ain't missing nothing. The evidence is right in front of us. As Angela said, they are best friends. And that is where the problem kind of comes in. If we listen to what Angela said earlier, Dad passed away at 7, unfortunately. And I think that it became a relationship of friendship and not mother and daughter. I feel like there should be a brink of when you break off from, I don't want to say break off, but when you're friends with your parents. And as a child and teenager is not the time to be friends with your parents. And so I think that Angela has built this relationship of we are friends, that she does not have respect for her mother. And I feel like that's why she can't live in the house with Charles, because Charles is all about respect. You're not going to come up in Charles' house and not do what he say and do as he do. That's just not going to happen. And I really feel like that's the situation that we are in right now. I think she ended up living with the mother. Oh, well, it's pretty much what I'm saying. She was a friend. You on an opinion. You got what I'm saying. She caught on it. You were a friend. I feel like she ended up living with the mother because she couldn't stay with Charles. Because that whole situation, we seen this episode. Charles ain't no mess, okay? If you're going to live in Charles' house, you're going to abide by his rules, okay? And she don't seem like the type of girl that likes to abide by any kind of rules. How you taking a car that's not yours? Angela specifically said, I gave that car to my mom. That means if you want to use that car, you need to go on down to grandma and say, hey, grandma, I need to borrow the car. Can I use the car? And if she say no, you need to call your little boyfriend, call your little fiance, call your husband up, and he got to pick you up however way he can. I thought it was also very telling to me when Angela said that her mom has self-diagnosed herself healed. There's a lot of problems in this family that we're not dealing with, and it's starting to surface up because we have not been dealing with them. Angela spoke about her issues with her and her mom. I think, because she did not have the best relationship with her mom, she became friends with her daughter to have that relationship that she did not have with her mom, if that makes sense. People always say you try to kind of make up for relationships that you didn't have growing up. And I feel like that Angela has made up that motherly, friendly relationship with her daughter that, she should have had with her mom, if that makes sense. So, this was a lot. Someone said it in the comment section. Why are all these grown people not having jobs? I need to know why everybody is not working. Why are all these grown people riding around with no car? How are you getting around? You got married at 24 and you still living with your grandma? You need to be living with this man that you got married to.
Or whoever she got married to. The problem is, though, you got married, but do you work? You fighting over this car? Something. We got holes. That need to be told in this story. And like somebody said, Angela be hiding stuff like she tried to hide the age of the other kid.
Kids.
Oh shoot, living off of Angela and Charles. Well, Charles did say, well, we'll get to that. Go ahead. Let me shut up. Go ahead.
Yes. So, it was giving that, Amari is very manipulative, is what I took from it. Angela has a lot of issues that, like we said, she's hiding from us, you know, and I hope that she was able to work those issues out in regards to her mom and everything with this situation before she passed away, because it's nothing worse than losing someone and there's unresolved issues. So I really do hope that they were able to resolve those issues and work everything out. You know, I personally don't feel like grandma was wrong. If it's her car and you didn't ask her to use it, you don't need to be checking the grandma. You need to be checking your daughter. But anything else on that? Uh-oh. Can you hear me?
I can now. I did go out though for a minute.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it for that scene.
Okay.
Somebody Paige. No, this is Paige Angela. We need the truth.
Paging Angela. Angela. We need you to come on down to the recap building and give us some answers, sweetheart. We'd appreciate it.
I may go over to Instagram, just put what's the truth.
She's grieving right now. Let's let her
right, you know what? I'm gonna respect that, because listen, remember my dad passed in October. So yeah. No, I respect that. Okay, I'm sorry.
We're gonna give her a break for now, but
I'm gonna let her go.
Angela, we putting the page out there, boo. We praying for you. We paging for you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So Porsha and Britt, they have lunch together, and they kind of talk about everything that happened, at the previous night. Britt, yet again, she says that she's very apologetic. She takes accountability for everything that happened. Porsha said that she was thrown aback by the whole situation when when Porsha was first introduced to them at Shamia's party. They were sitting together. They seemed to have been getting along and things were going well, and now it's topsy-turvy. Britt said everything was cool until she felt that Kenya was coming for her. Kenya threw shade at her ring, and she threw shade at her marriage. Porsha said no one else, felt that she was throwing shade. It was just kind of a compliment that, she was making. She was asking questions, basically trying to get to know you. Porsha said that she kind of understands, though, what Britt is going through because, her and Kenya have had their issues in the past as well. Britt said that she truly does want to apologize. She didn't mean anything by the pistol situation. It was a nasty comment to make, and that she is, going to do her best to make it up to Kenya. She's going to, try to make it to the event, and see what she can do to kind of smooth things over, in regards to that situation. I didn't really have too much on that. Anything on that?
What I'll say real quick is this is about the third or fourth person that Brittany expressed that I'm sorry to, and that she really wants to talk to Kenya. So I know many people, because it's the thing on the street now, justice for Kenya, justice for Kenya. I still have to get to know Brittany more, but I gotta respect the fact that this woman, she wasn't talking smoke every time she met up with somebody. She spoke with Shamia and Angela, and she said, I really want to apologize. This is not what I thought. This is not what I wanted. She spoke with oh my God, thanks. In my opinion, she spoke with Porsha and said, this was not my intention. So my thing is, in my opinion, thank you so much for the super chat. Angela's too busy chasing Charles with his pros and having his babies. I get the word you're trying to say. Who's having his babies? Child, listen. The worst thing a woman could ever do is chase a man who don't want you. And in my opinion, you said on my channel so many times, okay, don't let a man tell you twice he don't want you.
Hello. Receive it the first time, okay?
Receive it. Come on now. Amen. Amen. Receive it the first time. You better talk to the people. But you speaking facts. Receive it the first time. If that man say he don't want you, he don't want you.
Yeah.
No respect. So I have a respect for her that she kept saying to people, I really I want to apologize. Like that is not what I meant. And I don't think she meant that. I think she got caught up in the moment. She got in the heat of the moment. And I'm going to back up a little bit. Remember, Angela said, I think at Shamia house that the venue talked to her. Mm-hmm. As much as they wanted to act like, oh, this venue in the hood, then she said the venue had to talk to her, talking about, oh, you didn't tell us we was going to need security and all this other stuff. Because what we see is the cut up version. Imagine how long they was really in real time arguing and going back and forth with each other.
Yes. Yeah. Woo! Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot.
Well, you know what, Lawson? We didn't see that yet, but I'll give this to you. I did hear about that. And on that note, I did not like when Brittany did that, because I think when Shamia was on Watch What Happens Live with Andy, she did say that Brit talked about her daughter with health issues. And I thought that, and I did think that was gutter low. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did think that was gutter low. I will say that. I did think that was gutter low. I don't know. Like, first of all, childbirth is so... It's amazing when someone gives birth with no complications. And, you know, I don't like the fact that she talked about Shamia's daughter. Thanks for reminding me of that, because I forgot all about that.
Yeah, I missed that. I totally did not see that.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have, unless you saw Watch What Happens Live with Andy. I want to say that's where Shamia mentioned it, or I might have saw it on the Instagram, but it wasn't on the show, or it wasn't on the show yet. Gotcha. But yeah, but she did. So Shamia said she said that, and Shamia was like, for that, like, I'm done. I don't like her. And yeah, I don't like that either. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying in the comments that they would have met up with Kenya before the event, and I feel like, in my personal opinion, Kenya's mind was made up at the end of that night. It was made up what she was going to do. And if you really have been watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and if you know Kenya, once Kenya's mind is made up, that's it. Ain't no going back.
Right. She was going to do it. She was going to do
what she was going to do. Yeah. So, you know, speaking of, you know, when somebody got to tell you they don't want you, receive it. Here we are yet again. Angela's in the bathroom. Okay. Charles happens to walk in on her. And so, you know, she's letting Charles know that she's going to Kenya's hair spa opening tonight. And so she wants Charles to show up. And Charles doesn't understand why you want him to show up to an all women's event that none of the men are going to be there at. He's like, for what? I got hair. It's good. I just got to shape up. I don't need to be there. For what? Okay. You know, Angela brings up the conversation, you know, in regards to Porsha and the things that she said, you know, possible secrets that, you know, she may know about Charles. And so Charles didn't take too kindly to that. Okay. Charles said, who the heck do she think she is? The FBI? She don't know me, and she better Google me, not once, but twice. Google and find out, okay? You know, Angela said, I did let her know, you know, this ain't nothing to play with. Leave it alone. He said, yeah, you better let her know, because she barking up the wrong tree. And I will definitely let her know about herself pretty much, okay? Charles was not playing. You know, Angela said she was going to...
the time is you going to get in a lady's face.
Now, this is off kilt, but I want to see the Married to Medicine men step up to this one right here.
That
Let
part.
In the girl's face. What y'all gonna do?
That part. That part.
Anyways.
How he gonna tell her, though?
And he ain't joking, because he said...
No, he wasn't. Not Google me twice. just in case the first search didn't give you what you needed. You better Google me again.
Okay. This was so funny to me. So, you know,
well, his little snippets, he here for a show. The first thing he told her, fix your wig, and you got too much. Oh God. And he told her she had too much makeup on.
Too much makeup on.
Now he like, no, I will not be going to this party.
Look, we're not getting married till you finish these 5 houses, or renewing our vows till you finish these 5 houses. I mean, when I tell you Angela is on probation for real, she on somebody. She's on probation. She is on probation.
Ciao. No, listen, this man, he about putting his foot down.
Okay.
No, I'm here for it. I got here.
I'm here for it. So Kenya, excuse me, Kenya. Angela, he goes onto the kitchen. Angela follows behind. She begins to, excuse me, talk about the issues with her family. In regards to mom and granddaughter not getting along and everything that's going on with that. And Charles is in his mind and in his mouth saying, "Why are you telling me about all of this? I don't care. I don't want to know. I don't like them people. I don't talk to them people. It is what it is." And Angela's like, "You're my husband. Who else am I going to talk to?" He said, "I barely talk to my own family. Why do you think I want to deal with yours?" Okay. So, she went to go get her a little piece of fried chicken. He said, "Wash your hands. Let me touch my good food with your nasty hands." And she said, "Babe, I did." And they had to play a rerun of her washing her hands when she first walked into the kitchen. He was like, "Oh, okay." So that was pretty much the ending of that scene. Charles is not to be played with, and let's let it be known. Okay. Anything on that?
Charles is a lot. I guess that's why I'm single, Royaire, because he too much. Like, he is
he is Greg. He is literally Greg when Greg first came onto the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Literally.
Yeah, he is a lot. Okay, he's a lot. I wash your hands like I'm like I'm under the kid. And then why the little boy? Because those were wingettes.
Yes, they was. They looked good too.
They did look good. He was cooking. Why little man came there only got one wingette? No, give him a plate. Like,
I can't with you.
Hungry. I said, what he gonna do with that little one wingette? He hungry.
I'm so weak.
Give him some food.
It was a taste test.
So listen, and look at he said, "Listen, I paid for your family, so I ain't doing No, he guess he's saying, listen, he give up the check for her family. He ain't in it. He don't even talk to his own family. He ain't dealing with no family. So he's like, it is what it is. Okay. So in the wash your hands like she a little kid, I was like, he too much. And he came straight up in that bathroom and told her, "What you doing? What's going on in here?" And no, I ain't going. Okay, but when she said, "Don't do Greg."
Listen, I love Greg, but we gotta admit, Greg was a little problematic when he first came onto the Real Housewives of Atlanta. We do gotta admit, Greg was
because that's when he didn't really. He
had to divorce him and let him know, "I can have another you in a minute." Okay.
Yeah, he had more money than Nene. Then when the table switched and Nene was the breadwinner, he humbled himself. God rest his soul, but
God rest his soul, because I love me some Greg. Okay,
but he humbled himself. Okay, so yeah, so listen, I mean, Google me twice, I would be up in her face. I said, "Oh, I don't know. We're gonna see how this whole season play out, but I don't know if they're ready for Angela and Charles."
I don't know if they're ready for Charles. Angela's not the concern. It's Charles.
He said Google me twice, and she better not. It pretty much, he might as well say she better keep my name out her mouth. Literally. He might as well have said that because that's pretty much what he said.
That's what he said. He said what he said. Okay.
Yeah, and you and Porsha worried about baby daddy filming with Drew. She may need him because Charles is about that life.
Child, please. Mr. Hot Dog Man would back all the way down. Porsha would be up there by herself.
Now, Dennis got
in the back holding Pilar in his arm.
Listen, Dennis got a little flavor too, so I don't know.
We gonna have to send Porsha running back down the back alley again.
Yeah.
No, that's a fight I will wait and see, because I don't know. I believe the two of them could hold their own for sure, but
for sure.
So, we move into the next scene. It is time for Kenya Moore hair spa, okay? Yeah. So Kenya's getting ready. She's getting prepared. Cynthia and Shamia were one of the first to show up. They're outside waiting on Kenya. Kenya has on her purple dress. She's looking very nice. She's cheersing with everybody. You know who I have not seen this season, or yet anyways? Brandon. I expected to see Brandon at this event, and Brandon was not there.
You know what? Brandon was missing in action. Did he move?
I don't know. But even if he did, that would be no reason for him not to show up for his bestie, Kenya Moore.
Yeah.
He got pushed on the ground and almost beat up by Apollo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe after that, he said, I can't fool with this shit.
Yeah.
But Kenya is, getting ready. So she shows up to the event. She walks the carpet. She thanks everybody for coming. Now, in this specific moment, this is where things get a little tricky for me, okay? Kenya says that I did this for my daughter, and I am excited to be here. This is my first brick and mortar, and this is the legacy that I'm going to leave for Brooklyn, okay? Porsha shows up and she says she's here to support Kenya. She knows that this has been a huge dream of Kenya for a long time, and she's here for it. Miss Lawrence shows up to the event. Shout out to Miss Lawrence. It was so good to see Miss Lawrence. We haven't seen him in a very, very long time. So he shows up, and he shares his appreciation for Kenya, helping him get into the industry and learning things and things like that. So they have their moment together. While we're waiting for the event to start, Kelly has gone to pick up Brit. Unfortunately, Brit's aunt passed away earlier this week. And so Brit is definitely having some struggles, in regards to the stuff that happened at the dinner last night. Now she's dealing with the family issues of her aunt passing, which also brings up memories of her dad passing because this is her dad's sister. So she's just really going through a lot. But she came, she brought flowers and a card. She was expressing in the card that she's still genuinely apologetic about what happened. She definitely knows it went too far and she's taking accountability for what happened. She wrote a personal card for Kenya and that she really, expressed, her apologies in this card. And so she was excited to give it to Kenya, but she's super nervous about coming to the event because she's not exactly sure where Kenya is on the spectrum right now. So, Kenya goes ahead and, she gets everything started. She does a hair battle show. The 4 ladies come down. They show off their hair. She does it Apollo style. Clap for the individuals. Queen won, individual number 4, contestant 4. She ended up winning the competition. Drew shows up with her flowers. She congratulates Kenya, and greets everyone and all of that good stuff. Kenya thanked everyone for reaching out, Kenya and Angela had a moment together. Monyetta was there last night as well. Kenya and Angela, Angela came into the room, into Kenya's office. She apologized for everything that went down. She said, I'm 100% on your side. I got your back, girl. Kenya expressed that Angela was the only one to reach out after everything happened the previous night. And so that was that with that. Porsha and Cynthia ended up linking up together. Porsha explains to Cynthia, everything that kind of went down at the dinner the night before. Cynthia said, I go out of town for 5 minutes and y'all can't even act right. Y'all just mess up everything, okay? Brit is still on the way in the car. I'm going to stop there and I'll let you debrief on everything that we talked about so far.
Mm-hmm. Brittany and Kelly in the car. Let me see, because this whole scene is a lot. It's hard to break it up.
No, I was trying to do.
Finish it all in, and then I'll just
So, Cynthia wanted to know what happened with everything. They, Shamia and Porsha kind of broke down everything to Cynthia. Shamia told Cynthia about Angela and Brit coming over to her house. She said, oh, you guys apologize. Yes, we've moved on. She said, well, did I miss the move on from Porsha and Drew? She said, no, I'm good on that, girl. She did what she did. She knew what she did and I'm good. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, let's see. Kelly and Brit finally show up, okay? And so Brit walks in with her flowers. She comes in very apologetic. Kenya was not there just at that moment just yet. While they were waiting for Kenya to come in, Porsha and Drew have a conversation. Drew goes around to greet everybody. Porsha did not want to greet her. Drew wants to move on from this situation that her and Porsha got going on. And she wants an understanding of exactly what happened. Drew says she reached out. Porsha didn't respond. I've done everything that I can do. What more do you want? And so Porsha did admit in her confessionals that she was supposed to reach out to Drew and have a meeting. She got sick. She was going to reach out again, but then she heard more information about the dirty things that Drew was doing, and so she just moved on, okay? So her and Drew are not talking. They're not in a good place, and, it is what it is. Kenya comes on down for the final, part of her show. And so Kenya walks in. Brit tries to greet her with a hello and some flowers. Kenya walks past her and continues on with greeting her people and everything. Brit says, well, listen, I tried. I did what I could do. Here's the flowers. I'm gone. So she proceeds to exit out. Kelly walks her out. She said, you tried. You did what you can do. It is what it is. Don't worry about it. Well, Kenya begins, her speech, and she says, she's appreciative of everyone showing up. She's so glad that people are here to support her. She talks about, how she's tired of people coming for her for no reason at all. She's sick of people, thinking that they can say whatever they want and do whatever they want and get away with it. Kenya says, well, not anymore. There was a situation the other night where somebody said that they were going to pistol whip her. And she said this individual is fake, a fraud. And so she decided to go on an investigation and talk about this individual, and see who this individual was. Well, she brings out poster number 1, and she has several different pictures of Brit on the poster. I want to say one was a mug shot, one was before her Botox, one was after the Botox, just all kinds of stuff, okay? And so Kelly's like, this is a bit much, She grabs the flowers and said, throw these outside, give them to a homeless person. And so Kelly reaches to get the card. Well, said, let me get the card. Kenya said, stay out of it, okay? So Kelly, she holds onto the card. Kenya then presents a second poster of Brit being a video girl, okay? Now, Kenya said, I was a video girl too, but I was getting stacks for what I was doing. That picture or poster board immediately sent Brit over the edge. Brit said, we done all been a hoe, including you. I'm done. And she gets up and walks out, okay? Then Kenya proceeds to present the pictures of inappropriate things with Brit and a man. And so the girls really had it after that. Porsha walked out. She said, this is too much. Shamia walked out, said it was too much. And the person who said that they had your back, Miss Angela, she walked out and said this was too much as well. Kenya said that she's over it. These are the type of people that, keep coming for her, and she's no longer taking it, okay? Cynthia got up and said, listen, I just wanted to come and express my support for you. I thought this was a beautiful salon opening, but I got to let you know that it went too far. Shamia also tried to address, it going too far for Kenya, and Kenya told her to shut up and stay out of it as well. She did not go too far. She is done with people coming for her. At the end, the ladies were outside. Porsha said, listen, you can shut the cameras off of me. You can de-mic me. You can act like I was never here because I don't want to be a part of this. Angela was very disgusted and disappointed about what Kenya did, and so was Shamia. And so that was the ending out of this episode 5, season 16 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, About Last Night.
Ooh, child. Well, about last night. Listen,
that was a lot.
Once again, as Kelly and Britt were in the ride to the venue, Kelly still, I don't care what nobody says, never in the history of the Housewives has anybody ever talked about apologizing so much. Britt came with the flowers. She had the card. She was like, I'm going to support. I'm going to do what I got to do. Let's see, what happens. All right. So fine. The fact that Shamia and Cynthia arrived before Kenya Moore, I was like, I can't do this right now with Kenya. And for Kenya to tell her glam team that she wants, her hair to enter the room before she does, I was like, team, too much. It was a lot of hair. A lot was going on. It was like, wow. Okay. So let me tell y'all something. I think the problem that Kenya had with showing these, well, let me back up a little bit more, Royaire. She claimed, first of all, this is your grand opening that you poured $400K into, and you claim you're going to pay the whole dust, but meantime, you had a whole speech about her, right? You had a whole speech about her. You had poster boards, and you paid an investigator to find out all this information for you. That's not paying somebody dust. If I got nothing for you, Royaire, you're not going to catch me saying nothing about the person.
Nothing.
I'm not paying no private investigator to look up anything for me. I'm not spending my money that way. I'd rather go somewhere and get a latte, okay? And take my chance on Lotto, but I'm not paying somebody to find out information on you. And even when I have somebody that used to be a friend and now we don't speak anymore, I'm not telling your business. So for you as a lady, knowing how ladies are weaponized for their bodies, for what they do when they're intimate with people or whatever the case may be, a man could be a hoe, so to speak, all day long, Royaire. But as soon as a woman do it, they're like the worst thing ever. The fact that she not only did those poster boards, I guess showing, Brittany in different phases of her life, maybe saying she got plastic surgery, whatever. I will say this, the girl face card, she may be a mess or whatever the case may be, but her face card was her face card when she went to that house with no makeup on, okay? Girl got face. But for her to show those pictures and for people to start walking out, you legit seen some people just was like, all right, I ain't come here for all this. I might have wanted to be here to see, the show and to see, the opening or whatever. But when she showed those pictures, there wasn't too many people that was with the shenanigans. A lot of people was like, I'm out. And Porsha, that's right. Well, Porsha saying, take the mic off. I want to act like I wasn't even here. Porsha, who allegedly did a whole scene with Bolo, and I'll just leave it at that. Okay. And now, but you know what though? I think the real point is that you can do what you do and let us do what we do, right? But for you to bring out posters and show that, and for Cynthia to even say to her, like, girl, this is beneath you. It's just, yeah. A travesty at a salon opening. You ain't never lie. A travesty and to say, and she thought she was doing something. I pay her. People try to take me down. That's at your own opening. But remember what she did to Marlo at her opening? Can you more here, kid? Can you more here, kid? And now you come later. Come on, that warrior. And now here it is later. Nobody walked in and destroyed your thing. You destroyed it yourself.
Yeah.
You destroyed it yourself.
She definitely destroyed it herself. Kenya shot herself in the foot. And as I said at the beginning, this is what really threw me. You got on the red carpet and said you're doing this for your daughter. You're doing this to have a legacy. Where's the legacy now? What does your daughter have to look up to? For Kenya to not even have the wherewithal to try to have some type of forgiveness. I mean, no forgiveness at all, Kenya. Nothing at all. You paying dust to these girls, but this is what you do. Kenya, every single time, never takes accountability for the parts that she plays in things, and then wants to play victim when things come out. Talking about the Pow Pow situation. This is not the first time that we've seen, someone talk about Pow Pows on the Real Housewives. Can we talk about it, Diva?
Can we talk about it?
Let's talk about it.
Okay, let's stop sharing the screen. And this justice for Kenya, they need to stop. Go ahead, stop. Go ahead, play it. Let's play it.
Everybody, Baker and I have supposedly waved the white flag. I don't trust her as far as I can throw her. And because she weighs 200 pounds or more, we all know that's only about an inch. You know what? Do I need to pack some heat? You got a piece of steel in there? Because if things get out of hand, what do you have here? I might just have to bring out my firearm. Oh, that's not you. I love you. I'm over it. Even though they...
And they showed it. We never saw Britney's. And they showed it.
Not they showed it, you showed it.
Right.
You put it on TV for others to see.
Oh, sure.
But then you get mad at this girl who said some words that she did not follow through with.
Mm.
And then you go and diminish this young lady because you didn't like what she said. I'm really confused with Kenya, and I'm confused on where this, justice for Kenya is at. This lady exposed pictures of someone else doing things privately, whether it was exposed on the internet or whatever. Why did you feel the need to expose that? Why? Why did you think that that was something okay to expose at your hair salon opening, something that was about you, for people to walk away thinking about somebody else? Kenya, this is horrible. And every season, we see something with an issue with Kenya. Every time. When she first got on, it was an issue with her and Porsha. The next time, it was an issue with her and Phaedra, you flirting with her husband. The next time, you and Nene. Hell, even Candy had an issue with you when you was talking about Mama Joyce's wig on Sheree. You and Cynthia done fell out multiple times. Diva, when do we look at the woman in the mirror?
I'm looking at the man in the mirror.
Oh, yeah.
I'm asking him to make a change.
Make a change, Kenya. This is really, really sad. And for her to just like make it seem like that she just so innocent in this situation, like she was protecting her salon, she was protecting her brand, like you put your own salon in jeopardy. You put your own brand in jeopardy, ma'am. What were you protecting? There was nothing to protect. If we would have went on and had your salon opening, the whole pistol thing wouldn't have even been talked about no more. It wouldn't have been a conversation to have, especially because she came apologetic. She took accountability, not just with you, but with everybody in the group. She took accountability and was coming to take accountability with you. But you had to take the low road and go beneath. What did Cynthia say? What's lower than low? Whatever is lower than low, that's where Kenya was.
That's where Kenya was.
Your own friend told you that. Cynthia said on Sunday, I wish that Kenya would have came to me before this, because I would have told her, this is not you. And this is not a good idea. But obviously, this is who Kenya is. Obviously. I don't have no remorse for Kenya. I don't have no sadness. I think, if Martell can go to jail for what he did, sending video to Melody, we got to hold everybody accountable for the decisions that they made. This was horrible. This was deplorable.
Deplorable.
You messed up your own. That's what really just throws me, is that you messed up your own event, your own name, to try to throw somebody else in the gutter. This was a lot. Last night was a lot.
It was a lot. They talk about last night.
About last night. Your thoughts on Porsha and Drew?
Porsha is doing what Kenya did to Brittany. Porsha is doing to Drew.
Yes.
It's stupid.
It's dumb.
It's at some point, it's like, okay, you can't speak to this girl. And my thing is, I'm not going to be madder at somebody else than I am at my baby daddy. He's the one that should be loyal to me. Hello. So my whole conversation, heat, smoke, and all of that would be at my baby daddy.
And like Drew said, I'm going through a divorce, you going through a divorce. What would it better me to go mess with your baby daddy?
That part. I'm going to do that why and for what?
But I will say, shout out, to all of the ladies who walked out on that.
Yeah, there was a lot.
That shout out to not just the ladies, but everybody that walked out on that.
Yep.
Because that was horrendous. That was just horrible.
Yes, it was.
Expose someone in any type of way at anything. It's beneath. It's below. It's low down to the gutter.
It is. It's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
It's nasty.
So unnecessary. So unnecessary. We could have moved on from this situation. You would have still had your peach this season and your business would have went off beautifully because the salon is gorgeous. It was a beautiful opening. It was a nice, little hair show. The food looked really, really good from what I seen on Instagram. It just looked like a great event. And you ruined it. You ruined your own event because of something that somebody did to you days ago. Somebody that you don't know, that don't matter to you, and not paying not one of your bills.
That part. And you paid her more than dust. You paid her $400K. You paid her $400K. You paid her the cost of the opening of your business. You paid. They say when you trying to do venom towards somebody else, it ends up falling on you. Everything you was trying to do to that chick, you reap the nasty benefits of it.
Listen, my favorite quote, while you digging one ditch for me, dig one for yourself. Did you think I would fall in? You go there. Shout out to Amelia.
You know what? If you giving quotes, you never win when you play dirty.
Never win when you play dirty, okay?
Oh, that people, Nene Leaks.
Hello.
Nene Leaks. And I don't know, the way she did this quote last night after the episode, she almost quoted it like they not bringing her back, like the door is closed. Girl, go sit down somewhere.
The door should be closed. Somewhere. It should definitely be closed. This is why we have people like Donald Trump running the country, because nobody has any kind of forgiveness. No one has any second thought to what they do. No one had any kind of just mental and emotional stability to do the right thing. Like, this was the wrong thing to do. Of all things to do, this was definitely the wrong choice to make at your own event. And not to say that it would have been any better at anybody else's event, but at your own event, at the cost of yourself.
That part.
Just when last week you was sitting in the salon crying to Brit about you hoping that everything works out because you done put Brooklyn's college fund into all of this. Did we not just have that conversation last week?
And let me say this to you real quick, Royaire. Let me say this to you. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I keep saying this, and I don't know how I could say this enough. People are very personal about their hair. It's very rare that they're going to go to a new shop when they have their regular person. It has got to be something that it is established and they know about. Not you bringing some random newbies in there talking about y'all doing hair. People normally go to their people and have been going to their people for years, unless all of a sudden you say, listen, like, there's people out there now that they growing the people here all the way down their back. If you got places like that, then they're like, okay, I'm going to go test this place out because they growing their hair. And I really I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I really ever seen someone open a salon and they don't themselves know how to do hair. And I'm saying that respectfully from a girl who all of my life, there's some people that could do their own hair. All of my life, I was in somebody's salon. I could barely ever do my own hair. I was always in somebody's salon every week, every Friday, like clockwork. I was getting my hair done. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I never seen an owner who can't step in and do your hair. Every time, if my person was backed up, wasn't there, whatever the case may be, the owner would come over and say, yeah, I could do your hair if you want me to. Who hair can you do? How can she call somebody in and how's she going to know whether that person is good or not, or if that person is cutting their hair right or coloring their hair right or whatever? I seen owners when their person was about to color somebody hair wrong, they was mixing it wrong. They came over there and told them, this how you mix it, this how you do it. I don't know. I think she would have been better off if you ask me. I think she would have been better off going to all the known salons and asking them to carry her products.
Yeah.
To wash the people here with her products, to use her products as their number one product.
I guess we tried that with the CVS and it wasn't going so well because remember nobody could find her in the stores. So
Lorraine though, but see, you know what I'm saying? She might have brought in a person that was established to run the salon, but as a salon owner, and you opening a high level hair care spa like that, you got to yourself. I'm not saying you have to still do the hair, but you got to yourself know how to do hair. I know personally, 2 hair care salon owners. I know them personally because they did my hair. One did it for 15 years, the other one did it for about 20. I know them on a personal level. And even when they rose up, they still knew how to do hair. They had to step in. Wait, what you laughing at?
Talking about Brooklyn should sue for messing up her college fund. College funds without no funds. In Dwight's voice, how dreadful.
How dreadful. How dreadful. And listen, can I say this respectfully, Royaire? A hair care salon with no customers. How dreadful.
A hair care or a hair salon that's only open on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. But that's dreadful.
That's dreadful. That's dreadful. And I'm saying that respectfully.
This was so sad. This was really, really sad to watch. Someone said in the comments earlier, it was cringing. It was definitely cringing to watch. Yeah. You know, the fact that Bravo had to even put up a little sign saying, unfortunately, due to the photographs, we could not show this. Like, you know, when Bravo say they can't do something, you know it's a problem. It's an issue. And it was just horrible.
It's definitely an issue where when they showed fights. When they showed fights. Listen, I never forget on the Real Housewives of New Jersey when they showed Teresa and the family, they had the whole fight at the baby, whatever that was, flipping tables, running after each other. They showed fights. So when they say they can't show these pictures, it was bad.
It was serious. It was really, really serious. Well, that was season 16, episode 5, about last night. At the end of every recap, we like to get your thoughts and opinions on the episode on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. What are you rating this episode? Leave your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section, and we will go through those momentarily. Auntie, your final thoughts on this episode?
Thought it was a good episode. Angela and the daughter, they raised the level on this episode because we knew there was holes missing in that story.
Yes.
Amari seemed a little spoiled. I could be off, but we'll see as this goes on. Charles is for the streets.
You better Google him twice.
Okay. For the streets. Listen. They gave us a show this yesterday. It was a show. They gave us a show.
They did.
They gave us a show. So I'm giving it an 8. And maybe Keisha, you know what, Keisha? Because you, Keisha, you saying a 9. I'm raising it up. I'm giving it a 9 because legit, every scene with Angela was a whole lot.
It was. Okay?
The scene with her daughter, the scene with her husband treating her like a kid, talking about wash your hands. In the scene when she went to Shamia house and Brittany. Angela, you helped out. That's right. I raised my score up.
Yeah, Angela did a great job tonight. Offering her family to the camera, was a smart idea for her. She's really bringing a storyline for me. I thought she would be one of the people that really did not have a true storyline, but she's giving it this season. And she's giving us the behind the scenes look into her home, her family, and everything that's going on. So I would totally agree. I'm giving this episode a 9. Although the end of the episode was a tragedy, I really enjoyed the salon hair show. Everybody showing up and being supportive of Kenya. It was nice to see some familiar faces. Miss Lawrence, Monyetta from the last season, quite a couple of other people that were there. So that was really, really nice. Like you said, Angela and her daughter scene was everything. The bathroom scene with Angela and Charles was everything. And I truly enjoyed the opening scene with Shamia and Angela being able to get over their issues and work things out for the better. So it's a 9 for me as well. I really, really enjoyed this episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. So Sass K is giving it a 3. In my opinion, is giving it a 2. Woo! Lord, y'all really did not enjoy this episode.
That's mean. That's mean. That's nasty work. That's nasty work.
K Mocha said that it would have been a 10, but the ending was trash, so she's giving it an 8. Okay, I can go with that. Let's see. Monique is giving it an 8. Claire is giving it a 5. Lisa is giving it an 11. Keisha is giving it a 9. Let's see. Sass is giving it a 7. Emmanuel said a 9 out of 10. No boring scenes at all. I agree. I was not bored with anything this last night's episode.
Yeah, I agree.
I was not. Tybet is giving it a 8. In my opinion, is giving it a 2. Where was Candy singing "I Fly Above All the Haters"? I fly above. I fly above. It's beneath me. Yes, we need
to talk about it. In my opinion.
Oh my God!
Play that song for Kenya.
Yeah, you got to fly above.
She did not fly above the haters.
She did not.
She was in the gutter with them.
Gutter low, okay? Yeah. Oh my God. Snoopy is giving this episode a 6 for except Kenya and Brit. There was nothing going on. Angela brought it down for me. Oh, I think she's hiding, lying, and making up stuff for a storyline. Okay. Let's see. Human Nature is giving it a 8. Lisa is giving it an 8. Katrina is giving it an 8. And Do is giving it a 7. Well, people, this was a really, really good episode. I truly enjoyed it. We appreciate each and every one of y'all for watching. Make sure you continue to hit the like button on this video. Make sure you share this video with someone. Though we are going off, we love our rewatch crew. So shout out to the rewatch crew. Check it out. Hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber to both of our channels, make sure you hit that subscribe button on Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva and Royaire's World. And make sure you turn your notification bells on all. That way you see each and every time we post a video with you in mind. Diva, please get over. Oh, Jesus. I'm not ready. This is Diva's fault though, Emmanuel. I told Diva when we talked on the phone, I said, this is gonna be your fault. You asked for this man to get up here and sing, and now here we are, a hot mess.
Listen, Andy was sitting there jamming. Come on now.
Shame.
I'm gonna say that to somebody. Set me free from the BS.
I'm done. Y'all, make sure you join us tomorrow for our recap of Married to Medicine, the season finale. Tomorrow is going to be episode 18, part 3, the final reunion episode of season 11 for them. Also, make sure you join us in May, as Basketball Wives will be coming back May 12th. So we're going to be recapping Basketball Wives. So make sure you get tuned up on that and you join us for our next recap show. Make sure you join Diva tonight for trending topics. If your notification bell is on all, you should get that notification bell as soon as she gets ready to go live. Anything else?
Well, yes, I want to say this too, Royaire. Say one more line of "I fly above."
I'm so comfortable in the skin I'm in. I'm secure about who I am. So you can go ahead and talk all you wanna. I build up a shell and it's hard and it's hardcore. I fly above all the haters. I fly above. I fly above. I fly above. It's beneath me. It's beneath me. It's beneath me. Candy, you need to come on over and sing stuff.
We fly above all the haters over here.
Period. We ain't got time, okay?
fly above. Come on now, you did that, Royaire. You did that. Too bad Kenya didn't fly above.
She flew
so
right down below. Look,
Kenya, you should have
hell.
Oh my God. My stomach hurt. I can't with you.
Oh my God. Well, listen, we appreciate each and every one of y'all for coming through. Make sure you hit the like button, make sure you share, and make sure you rewatch and share with someone that has not seen it. We will see y'all tomorrow at 6 p.m. for Married to Medicine Part 3. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Enjoying Diva tonight for trending topics. Good night and goodbye.
Goodbye, y'all.
Royaires world.